Welcome to how to find more time in your day to create more income. This is something I had to personally learn, master, and incorporate into my life to be able to take my life from its stagnation to acceleration, to profitability, to entrepreneurship, to freedom. Okay, all of these things had to happen before I could do that. So I'm going to now get into the 7 tips that you can do to create more time in your day so that you can create more income. Welcome to how to find more time in your day to create more income. This is something I had to personally learn, master, and incorporate into my life to be able to take my life from its stagnation to acceleration, to profitability, to entrepreneurship, to freedom. Okay, all of these things had to happen before I could do that. So I'm going to now get into the 7 tips that you can do to create more time in your day so that you can create more income. So tip number one, this is going to be probably the most important. Stop saying you don't have time. Tip number 1 is to watch your words about your time. Stop saying you don't have time. Stop using your words to be a weapon against you in the goals and intentions you have for your life. So if I say I am going to start a business, and then in the next sentence I say I do not have time, then your words begin to become a prophetic decree of what it becomes your reality. If I say I am going to start a business, and then I say after that I'm going to find more time in the day to do that, your words will become a prophetic decree that will become your reality. So the very first thing I want you to do is watch your words. Everything in your life that you have or don't have comes from the way you think, because what you think, you say. And what you say, you do. What you say becomes a reality. And other people listen to what you say. And other people believe you when you say those things. And so they act as if those things are true. So you act as if they're true, and so do the other people in your life. If I say out of my mouth anything that goes against what I want in my life, I should not expect what I truly want. I should expect what I say. I shouldn't expect what I prefer. I should expect what I say. I shouldn't expect the goals I wrote down that one time, December, right before January. I should expect what I say from January to December. Does that make sense? So that is what I want you to do first. Watch your mouth, okay? Watch your mouth. Only say what you want. Only say your intentions. Speak as if it has already come to pass, even if it's something that is not in reality yet. If there's one thing that I have seen become true, it is this. If you want better, think better, say better, do better. If you say the same things you've been saying about your life, you will reap the same things that you've been reaping. I am not saying this to play some type of mind trick on you. I am saying this because it's true. Is the minute you start to say things over and over and over again, you start to believe it yourself, and you start to find the time in the day. You start to create the opportunity in the hours that you felt didn't exist. You will begin to act as if, which will begin to be as if, which one day will be your reality. So watch your mouth. Tip number 1, it's simple. Watch your mouth. Tip number 2, okay, now this is going to be difficult for some of you, but this is tip number 2. Just say no. Just say no. No, thank you. We'll try it in different ways. Let's try different ways. Tiff, oh my God, girl. You're not gonna believe this, but this Friday, I know you're already coming to my birthday party on Saturday, but I'm having like a pre-birthday party thing. I didn't think I was gonna be able to get the restaurant, but now they're saying I can come to the you gotta be there. Watch me, watch. No, thank you. I'm not gonna be able to make it. I'll be there Saturday, but I have some prior commitments on Friday that I cannot break. I won't be able to make it. I'll see you Saturday. I need you to do more of that. I need you to do more. Don't thank you. I need you to do more. I have prior commitments. I need you to do more. Like, I am going to be just knee deep in this project and I can't do it. Maybe next time. It's a good one too. Maybe next time. And then for my real strong people, no. And then like period at the end. Just that's it. No. I want you to just practice it. Just wherever you are right now watching this, just say no. I'm not gonna do that. No, thank you. Repeat after me. No, thank you. Isn't that good? Doesn't that feel good? Because the reason why you are running out of time in the day, because you're spending your days 30% of them doing stuff you don't even want to do. Meanwhile, your bank account not right. Meanwhile, you're living check to check. Meanwhile, your car breaks down. You don't know what you're going to do because all your credit cards are leveraged. But yet here you are looking in somebody's face at brunch and you didn't even want to go. And you could have been building your business. You could have been working on your business. You think that you have to take your kids to every single thing they sign themselves up for. That is not the truth. Pick something. Okay, so mommy can build the type of business where I can get you a nanny, because that's what I had to do. I just pick something in this season of your life, son. Can you just pick, okay, basketball? Okay, that's what all we're going to do right now, so that mommy can build a business, and now I have daughters that have their own nannies. Do you see what I'm saying? But it's because I created boundaries over my time in that season where I couldn't build without having my time back. I couldn't create anything in 15-minute increments. I needed hours of my day back. I needed to be able to work from 7:30 to 9:30. And so the only way to do that is to create the boundaries in your life, say no, and not feel bad about it. Say no, thank you, and mean it. And then actually replace that time doing something that can create the income that you desire. Just say no. The next thing we're going to do is minimize our distractions. We're going to turn off our notifications. All right. So I know, even in my own YouTube videos and all the ones I watch, they say, turn on your notifications. Okay. Give me a thumbs up. All that. No. In this season of your life, turn off your notifications. You know why? Because you're being notified by people who are more successful than you to go watch their content. And in this season, you don't need those notifications, okay? The only notification you need is a reminder to go work on your business, a reminder to go read that book, a reminder to go finish up that seminar, take those notes so that you can execute on the things you've learned. That's the only reminders in this season that we need. We can turn our notifications on later. Most likely you won't want them then on, you won't want those on at that point either. But your social media, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, if you open up the app, that is when you should see the notifications. That's when you should see that you were tagged, DM'd, all of that. You should not see it popping up on your phone. Turn it off. No matter how engulfed into your work you begin to get, that popping up on your phone is going to distract you. Even if you have the discipline to say, oh shoot, what? I haven't seen her. I haven't heard from her in forever. Okay, I can't look right now. I can't. I'm gonna put my phone down. I'm not gonna look right now. What? I wonder what she's been up to. Your mind is already gone. Your mind is already off task. Your mind has got up from the desk and it's outside playing on a swing. Okay. The only way to get in the trenches and stay in the trenches is to eliminate as many distractions as possible. It's gonna be hard enough to get your kids to leave you alone. It's gonna be hard enough to get your husband not to come in and bother you. The least you could do is not create your own whirlwind of distractions on your phone. Do not disturb is great. It really is. I recommend using that as well. But prior to any of that happening, turn off all notifications from any social media app and any app that is not helping you generate income in this season. Turn it off. Thank me later. Now, one of the ways to create more time is to stop wasting time. So this is where I want you to do an audit of your time. I want you to take, I remember having to do this, by the way, when I was in high school. It was like in my home economics class. I can't remember which class I had to do, but it literally was a spreadsheet. Some of you might know what I'm talking about. And every 30 minutes, it was called time management. Every 30 minutes, you had to say what you're going to be doing. Okay, I'm going to get up, I'm going to get ready, shower, breakfast, go to school. You have to have your whole day planned out. I want you to do that, but I want you to audit your previous 3 days, because you probably can't go back further than that without being like, was I on the moon, Mars, Jupiter? Girl, I don't know where I was 3 days ago. So as far back as you can go, 3 days is probably the max you need. I want you to audit your time. I want you to really find what you're doing in your day. I need it all now. Okay, give me that Netflix time. I need you to put that in there. Let's keep it real. I need the chit chat time. I recently had to do this myself, y'all. I have a nanny that comes to my house. I have an 11-month-old baby girl. I have a nanny that comes to my house. She gets here at 9 a.m. She stays till 5, some days 6. What I noticed is that from the moment I sat down at 9 a.m., it seemed like I'd blink and it was 6 p.m. and I feel like I hadn't got anything done. And I had to audit my day to make sure I was being as productive as possible, because I have this blanket of time where I've hired somebody to watch my baby girl so that I can go create more income like you. Okay. So I needed to make sure that I'm not mismanaging that time. Am I being a good steward over that time? Am I being a good steward over the investment of this person coming in my house to watch my baby? And what I noticed was, why I don't initiate distractions, I get distracted by people constantly calling me for things that are not work related, because they know that I'm an entrepreneur and I probably can answer the phone. This is going to be a problem you're going to have too. So you might as well, you need to be listening in. What I did was I wrote down for 3 days who that person was. If such and such did this, this is how long I ended up being on the phone with them. Then such and such did this is how long I ended up being on the phone with them. Then such and such did this is how long I ended up being on the phone with them. And once I saw the repeat offenders, then I just told them, hey, you're calling me during this window that I have to work, and I know you don't have any ill intentions, but I'm going to have to start doing our little check-ins and all that kind of stuff after 5 o'clock or after 6 o'clock. I'm just not having enough time in the day, and I'm not hitting my goals, and I need to eliminate anything that's keeping me from that. So the first thing I did to create more time in that 9 to 6 window, 9 to 5 window, is I stopped wasting time. And I did that, and they were like, oh, of course, absolutely. Like, nobody took it any kind of way. I thought they might. They didn't even care. Girl, I didn't even think about that. Do your thing. And I got that time back. I also looked at what meetings am I getting pulled into that I'm not needed for. How can I finagle my little self out of those? I end up removing myself from meetings and then projects, saying this isn't really, the project is taking, 2 meetings a week and it's only rendering me these results. It's not worth it. I'm going to replace myself. I'm going to put up somebody else that could potentially take my place on this project, and I'm going to remove myself from the project. And they didn't take it as bad as I thought. You're going to be shocked at how much people really don't care. They just don't realize that they're wasting your time. So this tip is, if you want to create more time, stop wasting time. Audit your time. Every 30 minutes, how are you spending your time? And then go back and find those windows where you can take your time back. Tip number 5. Identify your most productive time. So this is when, we analyzed our day, because we're actually doing this, right? We're not just watching me and then being like, okay, yeah, Tiff, I got it. No. Get the most out of what you do. Can we just take a sidebar? Get the most out of what you invest in. If you're watching this, you paid for it. Get what you needed to get out of it. When I said it, there was something in you that said, I want to learn more about that. And then you purchased it. Get what you're supposed to get out of the thing you got. If more people would do that, do you know how many people buy courses and then never log in? They buy courses and never watch the content, yet the money left their account. How ridiculous is that? Get what you came to get. So do that audit. You think it's silly? Guess how silly wasting your time is. Guess how silly not knowing how you spend your day, but yet your income is not reflective of where you want to be. Okay, back on task. So now that we did the audit, okay, we've done our audit. Now we're going to identify our most productive time of the day. What part of that day are you the most productive? And you might know this already. Is it when I wake up in the morning, honey, I'm ready to take on the world. Some of you are night owls. Some of you are most productive in the evenings. I have a young lady that works for me, and it's like 1, 2 a.m. and she does most of her work. And I mean, it's good work. And I wake up, everything's done. So, that's her most productive time. She has a granddaughter during the day, and it's kind of get hectic, and her most productive time is late at night. And so I want you to determine your most productive time in the day. We're about to get into the things I want you to do to free up all of this time we just found, because leading up to this point, which is point number 5, we have stopped saying that we don't have time. So we have already just prophetically just created all this energy of time that we're going to have, right? And then we did step number 2, which is we just said no. So we said no to Sue, Karen, Bill, Bob, kids, everybody. We've been no thank you in them, honey, as many times as possible so we can create more time in our day. We've turned off our notifications. So when we do sit down to work, we're not going to be distracted, right? And so we have found where we've wasted our time. We've done that audit. So now we know when we can take advantage of the opportunities that are presented to us. And now we have identified our most productive time of the day. Watch these next few tips, okay? We're going to knock it out the park, and we are going to reach all of our goals that we have for ourselves. All right. So point number 6, mobile classroom. Okay. This is when I am now showing you how to duplicate your time, which means while you're already doing something else, we're going to layer it with obtaining the information we need to go to the next level. So I want you to identify where you need to grow. If that's learning about financing as you're getting into entrepreneurship, if it's learning about the niche that you want to get into, if it's learning about time management, if it's learning about discipline, whatever you feel is your hiccup, whatever you feel is your hesitation, right? When the transmission is going out in a vehicle, you hit the gas, but it doesn't go. There's a stutter step, there's a hesitation, and then then that something is wrong. And the most integral part of the vehicle may be at risk, right? So this is where you have to learn how your engine works, what is preventing you from moving forward. Maybe it's insecurity. So now you need to be going to self-development books. You need to be listening to Jim Rohn. You need to be listening to Eric Thomas because you're having some insecurity issues and you need to be talked out of that. Because going back to point number 1, what you're thinking, you're most likely saying, I'm not going to be good at this. I can't handle it. I'm not tech savvy. And guess what? Guess what happens? You prophetically create your reality. So you first need to figure out what is stalling your engine. Write those things down. For me, right? Consistency. Sometimes I have to go back and you got to get your more consistency in this area. And I'll master it in one area and I'll need to grow in another area with consistency. And then I'm wanting to go back to those books. I want to go back to the compound effect. I want to go back to The Power of Habit. I want to go back to these books and I want to reread them or re-listen to them from audiobooks. And I want to make sure that I have indoctrinated myself with this information, not just heard this information. And this is when I use the mobile classroom effect. And what I'm saying is going to bleed into my next tip, which you're going to love that one too, is when you're in your car, you should be listening to an audiobook or you should be listening to a podcast. If you're cleaning, audiobook, podcast. If you're cooking, audiobook, podcast. If you're having lunch at work, you need to be listening or reading a book. You need to be rewatching that class or virtual mentorship that you haven't really tapped into. So what I'm saying is, while you're doing anything where all your brain needs to do is that one thing, which is just drive or just cook or just clean or just eat, layer it with learning. Layer it with learning. This is probably the most effective thing that I did that sped up my time and I was able to blow past my competition because I was always learning. And I didn't say I didn't have time to learn. I had to drive. I had to drive my son to school. I had to drive to the grocery store. I'll go to the grocery store and have a book on. I'd get through 3-4 chapters by the time I actually left my driveway, grocery shopped, got back home, put them up. Don't mess around and cook. Okay, I might finish the whole book. I mean, this is what I'm saying when I tell you there was no wasted minutes in my day. And so now that you've audited your time, you're going to have the time where it's just wide open. You can sit down and you can execute on the things you're learning. That's what I want you to utilize that time for. But while you're moving about and going about your day, I want learning in your ear or right in front of you as you eat. If you're eating alone at lunch, for work, whatever, I want you to find the time in the day to layer learning on something you're already doing. All right. Point number 7, my ultimate cheat code. This is where I want you to create a syllabus. Okay. You say, Tiff, what are you talking about? Okay. I'm done with school. Okay. If anything, I'm tired of paying school back. All right. And trust me, I understand. But this is where you're going to create your own school. So after we have found out from our previous point what is stalling our transmission, this is kind of where I want to go deeper into that topic. And I'll leverage mine, which was recently where I wanted to re-engage and master consistency in a particular area. So what you would do is you would create a syllabus. In your syllabus, these are the things that I want you to do. I want you to have a place for 3 books, 3 podcasts, and 3 YouTubes on just that topic. You're going to Google what are the top 3 books for consistency. You're going to find out, okay, this one you read what the summary is about. You read some reviews, good summary, seems to resonate with you. Boom, that book makes the list, right? You're going to put your top 3 books that you find there. You're going to put your top 3 podcasts, and it could be a podcast episode or series of podcasts, but you're going to pick a top 3 of those podcasts. And then you're going to pick 3 just YouTube videos where somebody might be just sitting there talking to you like I'm talking to you now, giving you some tips on this particular subject. Now think about it. You're about to go to school. This is going to be a semester of learning. You're going to knock out this over the course of 90 days, right? So consider it a quick semester of school. How much is the investment? Podcasts 9 times out of 10 are free. And YouTube is free unless you want to, be fancy and get premium, so you don't have to watch the ads. Okay. And you might have to pay for your Audible subscription, or if you prefer physical books, now you're paying for your Amazon to come. Okay. So we might be out, $50, $60, depending on, how much you are obtaining as far as this information is concerned. This is how much you're going to pay financially. The rest is the time. Now, here's the second layer to this tip, because it's not about just consuming the information. For every book, you want to have 2 hours of application hours. So that's where you write down the strongest principles in this book, the principles that resonated with you the most, the principles where you were like, ouch, ouch, ouch. Okay, I needed to hear that. And then how can I apply this to my life? You're going to spend 2 hours of implementing that thing in your life. So if it's giving you a tip on setting reminders, that's the time you spend where you actually set those reminders. That's the time you spend where it says get an accountability partner, where you find your accountability partner and let them know, hey, this is a thing that I want to be consistent about. Can you be my person? Can you be my person on this? And these are when you take the tips and you actually utilize them. You actually apply them. This is where they transfer from words in a book to transformational in your life. So for each book, for each podcast, and each video that you may have watched, read, you're going to have application hours, and you're going to have this all in like a journal. So you have your original syllabus of what you're going to go over, the notes from the book, what you got out of your application hours, the executable steps that you extracted and that you applied in your application hours. And I mean, watch what will happen to you in 90 days. I created this all on my own. I did this long before my business was successful. I do believe, though, it's why it became successful so fast. So create your syllabus, incorporate your application hours, and soar past every goal you ever thought you had for yourself. So that's it. That is my 7 tips just for you of how you can find more time in your day to create the income that you want. I'm so glad that you spent this time with me. I hope that you got out of this everything that I intended for you to get, in a way that you can receive it, in a way that you can apply it, in a way that you can have it transform your life. I'll see you next time.